Hey guys, Brox here, doing a off-the-cuff, just brief video on Slormancer. So I had no idea this game was coming out or even existed in truth. It just started gaining some popularity within the ARPG space, and as if you guys have seen any of my previous videos, I play Last Epoch, I play Diablo. I'm used to be one of the faster solo self-found racers in Diablo 3. Completely legit, by the way. I don't bot or anything like that. It actually is very, very difficult to do in Diablo 3. Um, but this game came out and people started talking about it, and you're going to start seeing YouTube videos pop up about it. And I'm not trying to trend chase on this video. I actually just want to share this because it's really good. And I just feel like anybody who has watched any of my videos or may see this, that you should absolutely pick this up. It's like $15 for a game that has 20 times the depth of Diablo 4 in the first like 5 minutes. It actually feels a lot like Diablo 3, but without the set items, which is like the game I've wished has to exist for the longest time. So this is almost a perfect ARPG. The only thing missing from this is multiplayer or online so that you could have races and leaderboards. If this had races and leaderboards, I think this would be close to, in my opinion, a perfect ARPG just from the depth it has, the simplicity to get into it that it has. There is a lot, and I'm still learning because I didn't look into this at all. So it's a lot for me to kind of learn initially, and I'm still very early on. I'm only level 31. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the game and what I'm building. So if you guys want to copy anything that I'm doing, my character is really, 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 really strong. Which is great. I'm having a blast with it because I don't normally play bow or ranged characters, but I see the potential of the build as I keep putting more into it. Now, is this going to be super crazy? I don't know. I've seen some absolutely absurd builds from some of the other content creators who are already like level 90, 100 that have like screen clearing builds. I think this will have some potential with that. It just, I don't know how the gear is going to continue to go. So I am playing a huntress, and I am playing a trap build. And the way that this build works is I'll show you guys my skills. I'm using the turret syndrome because it has some really great trap base nodes for trap damage and trap arm time. And I've been kind of messing around with all these points and stats and where they go and some things that I've learned. So here's a tip for anybody who doesn't know this. I started by just putting points in everything because I thought like you just put more points and you gain all of these feats, but you actually don't. You get one per row. So you have to kind of choose where you want to put your points. So I was wasting values in other areas that I didn't need to waste values in. But the really great thing about this game, super 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 new player friendly. It's mind blowing that like whoever these guys are could figure out how to make an ARPG new player friendly. Is you can for free respec anything in this game, literally anything. You put a point in the wrong skill, just take it back. You put a point in the wrong buff, in the wrong tree, in the wrong anything, just take it back. It's free of charge to play around and make your own builds, try things, experiment, and I think that's just incredible. So I'm doing a build where I have a ballista. It's going to do increased damage. This is, for me, it's just consistent damage that I can put down when I have to move out of mechanics. This ballista will just keep putting consistent damage down. And then we are going to gain max life for when we have the ballista. We gain 3% max life when we have a ballista down. I had this paired with a different node, this node, where my primary and secondary skills had 5% chance to create more ballistas, and then I could get like 3 to 5 to, I think the most I've seen is 5 ballistas at once, which then gave me 15% max life, which was quite a bit. It was giving me a big max life boost. But as I started leaning more into traps and kind of visualizing where I want the build to go, I realized I want the 100% trap time so that when a trap lays down, it immediately explodes, and I'll explain why that's important in a second. So I had to get rid of this node so that I could pick up the trap node. And then we're going to do traps do more damage. Whenever a trap is triggered for the first time, it rearms, so our traps will do double damage, and it's like a 2x multiplier, which is insane. When we get this maxed out, you're going to understand kind of why that becomes super, super strong. Um, Then we're going to do when you reach tormented, which we're always going to try to be in tormented state. We gain life on hit from one of our skills and just gives us 22 life. This will eventually probably go away when I get more life regen, either from other resources or other areas that I can pick it up. But it's nice to have right now because it just refills our life bar whenever we hit a enemy. And that goes for this as well, which is just pure life leech. So when we get this to 1%, everything we hit, especially when we start doing crazy, crazy damage, will just instantly pop back to full health unless we get one shot. So that's kind of this tree to set up our traps. Then we have Rain of Arrows, which is helping lay down our traps. So the first volley of Rain of Arrows has a 40% chance to put a trap down upon landing. So this is one of our trap means of putting traps down. Then Rain of Arrows lands, enemies are pulled into it, so it's like a suction. So we put traps down, we suction people onto the traps. You're seeing kind of where this is all going to work out. This shoots 3 consecutive volleys, so when I shoot 1 volley, it shoots 3. So 1, 2, 3. And when you do that on enemies, it suctions them all in over and over again, so you can continuously pull enemies, and it pulls them away from you, which is really, really good for, you know, survivability and sustain. Then this next one slows enemies, so when they get hit, they're stuck inside where the traps are going to be, so it suctions them in, then it slows them. We're going to max this out for the max 65% slow. And then we have 2 points down here where these are just now unlocking. So additional volleys, Rain of Arrows, deal 4% increased damage for each volley before them. We don't really need Rain of Arrows damage, but that potentially is good because while delighted, whenever you cast Rain of Arrows, you gain a delighted rain. So this is new. So again, I'm learning as I go. Granting 2% cooldown reduction. Delighted rain can stack up to 25 times. So that's 50% cooldown reduction. That's actually really strong, but possibly not necessary. Delighted rain stacks are destroyed when you are no longer delighted. So we play in tormented, so this is actually kind of useless, and this truly isn't great either. But for a little bit of Slorm, it's probably going to be fine. Actually, I just realized how much Slorm we have. We want to go put this in here. Yep, put that in, pick up, and now we only need 2 more into here, and we'll be at 100% arm time, which is what we want. I'll explain how you get Slorm in a second. We'll do a run, but we'll probably pick this up just for the free extra damage when we get there. That'll be like the last thing I do. And then we're using Finesse, which is a melee skill, and you may be saying to yourself, why are you using a melee skill in a Rain of Arrows build? Because you want to stay at distance. However, the way this actually works is this has a distance, so it shoots out a thrust of like wind energy. I'll actually just show you what it looks like. It looks like this. And it goes behind me and all the way out. Now, you see at the very end of it, there's like a star that blinks. So if you watch where the king is, up here in the corner, that walking by this door at the top left, there's a star point that happens when it goes all the way out there. You see that little blinking star? Where that blinking star occurs, a trap gets put down. And that's 100% of the time, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it increases the range and by 100%, so we have a longer range of using this. And then while tormented, it has no cooldown. So again, we're going to play in that tormented state. I'll explain that in just a second. It basically, when we're unhappy, we have no cooldown and no cost to the skill, and we can spam it. So we can put down traps really, really, really fast. And then enemies within 1 yard radius of the climax get blinded. So at that very tip where that star blinks, enemies that get hit by that get blinded. And then this one right here, while tormented, Finesse lays down a trap at its climax. So at that star point, if we're in the tormented state, we lay down a trap on that area. And then whenever you cast Finesse, another Finesse is triggered in the opposite direction with increased damage. So that's why you're seeing it go in both directions, behind me and in front of me, and that covers a lot of the area around me instead of just the area in front of me. And we can put traps down behind us so we can keep moving, and enemies can hit the traps behind us as well. So that's kind of the setup for this, and then our skill tree. So this is like a Path of Exile skill tree. I'm trying to figure out why it won't zoom. Here, let me get my mouse. We'll zoom it out here. So it's like a Path of Exile skill tree, but you have very limited points. So you only get these, I think it's like 7 points up here, and you can only use them to go out to wherever you want to go, and you only get 7 of them from what I can tell. I don't know if we're going to get more somewhere else, but it appears that it's only 7. So when I actually don't know what this is. Oh, it is a search. I didn't realize there was a search feature. I actually went online. There's actually a build planner for this online. If you search Slormancer build planner, there's actually a really good build planner that you can build around. So I went there and kind of looked at all the different pathing options. But what we're actually going to go for is more raw damage, because raw damage converts into skill damage, and that's what we're doing with traps. We're going to pick up this node, but it's just a bypass node. We don't do elemental damage, so this really isn't all that helpful. Then we're going to pick up the raw damage multiplier, so we're going to get some more percent raw damage and flat raw damage here. We're going to jump here, and we're going to pick up the evasion and defensive nodes. So for elite damage reduction, for evasion, elemental resistance, this is going to be a great defensive node for us. We're going to max this out. And then this is the big 3 right here. We're going to pick up Ice Imbue, which is going to give us a 55% chance to chill enemies when we hit them, so another form of movement speed and slow on top of our 65% slow to keep them in where the traps are. But then we have a chance to freeze them as well. So when they're imbued, there's a 12% chance at max rank. It'll be 30% chance that we suck them in and freeze them in place for our traps. And then we're going to pick up the when frozen enemies break. So when they explode, or whenever frozen the status breaks, icicles burst out and then do damage in an AoE around them to enemies nearby, which again is just a nice added damage effect. There wasn't really another really great place I could go. I guess I could pick up, if I wanted to bypass this, and it may be the thing I do, I may not pick up this node, because I could also pick up an early node here that gives us attack speed, armor penetration, and elemental penetration. There's a high chance that I actually do this, because this would give us a ton of extra multiplicative damage for when we penetrate enemies. So there may be a world where I don't actually pick this up and I actually stop here, and I stop at the ice imbued, I freeze enemies, and then I have the elemental pen and the armor pen as well. So that's kind of what I'm planning to do there. As you can see, there's kind of a lot to this. When it comes to gear, we are currently using the Big Fury bow, and this bow claps because it is giving us raw damage and a raw damage multiplier, so an 11.5% raw damage multiplier, and all my skill damage is considered lucky. I have no idea what that means. I could probably try to figure it out if it's actually in the stats page, so let's see. Is a lucky stat in here? Tenacity. Decrease the duration and negative movement and pairing effects. No. We're looking for lucky. Because I have no idea what lucky actually means, but it is important that it's skill damage oriented. Nothing there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what lucky means, but it's a absolutely great weapon for us and for the build. So we've been using it, and apparently if you use something for a long period of time, it evolves. So I don't know what the evolved state of this actually is, but we are working towards it. So we are using that to get it, and I don't have a better bow than this for the build, so this is the one we've been using. The way Slormancer works is your weapon is kind of the key to your build craft, and they're very rare, and your attempt to find one that works with your build or works good with your build. So I have a couple different ones. I have one I think everybody always tries to hunt for, which is the inner fire bow. I think a lot of people are hunting for this one. Maybe this isn't it, but I have this inner fireworks one. This is the one I was using for early leveling, which basically adds projectiles. If you stand still for 0.5 seconds, you get additional projectiles, which was really, really strong early on until I got the bow that I'm currently using. And then Let's see, what else? There's so much to this. I just unlocked the blacksmith, so this is very much like D3. So if we come here, we can actually put gear pieces into the slot, and we can choose kind of what we want to enhance or re-roll, kind of like a D3 Mystic does, which again is just really, really cool to see someone actually using D3 mechanics in a more complex video game. Salvage, just like D3. Components that you're going to need to craft, and then it has a built-in loot filter. Again, things Diablo 4 doesn't even have, which allows you to kind of customize what you want to see on the ground and what drops you want to see. And then for actual gameplay, let me show you kind of what a run looks like. So you can do one of two things. You could do, this is still the story or the campaign. I'm trying to just blow through it real quick and get through it. So this is the prison. And if I go over here, the end game currently, from my understanding, is called Expeditions, and they are up here at the top. And these are kind of customizable difficulties. So you can see here, you can customize the different levels of complexity that you want to fight. And then you can customize if you want boss events or if you want a fixed environment with no bosses. So procedural kind of situation, random environment, random situations with boss events or without. And then there's going to be different zones. So we have battlefield. I think another one that I have is the prison area. So I have the prison and the graveyard currently within the battlefield state. And again, I've started slowly unlocking some of this stuff, but I haven't unlocked all of it. The highest I've been casually going through was I did a graveyard run. No, I think it was a graveyard run. I did a graveyard boss event run to floor 25 and was just cruising. So the build was really, really solid for this. I wish I could figure out how to unlock the Wrath levels because I want to increase the rewards that I get from it. It's kind of like Torment in Diablo 3. And that's kind of what I'm working to try to figure that out. But I wanted to complete the campaign first so that I can figure out if I have everybody for the town. So everything that you do within the campaign, you have the ability to unlock a person for your town that we're in, and that opens up new things that you can do with your character. And again, with all the depth in the game, it's really, really fun. So here, what we're doing in here is every time we kill an enemy, we get Slorm, and Slorm is what we use to enhance all of our skills. And everything can be enhanced. So all of this requires Slorm to be enhanced. Your tree over, let me open the tree. All these individual nodes require Slorm to enhance the values of the nodes, and they all have ranks, right? So you see rank 2 out of 10. So we still have 8 ranks of this to put Slorm into, so we have to kill tons and tons of things because we need to do that for all the different nodes that we're going to pick up. So Slorm is used to increase those stats. It's increasing your skill stats, everything just involved there. So here you go. This just kind of show you how this all works. So the first thing we do is we want to get into our tormented state so that we can use our finesse and leave traps behind. And then we just kind of move and shoot. And we want to try to, again, always keep ourselves in a state of torment. And the way that the torment works is whenever you use a skill repeatedly, I gain stacks of what is called serenity. It's the little smiley face and happy face in the bottom left-hand corner there. So if I use, I have to actually hit somebody, hold on. When I use the same skill repeatedly, I gain serenity. So you can see it's starting to stack up, and that'll go to stacks of 12. Now I can just run like this and not use my melee skill. And I can clear a map this way, it's not that big of a deal. But if I want to actually use my finesse skill with no cooldown and no cost, then I need to use them interchangeably. So I use one, then the other, and that keeps me in the tormented state. And then when we come into areas, we can blast through like that. So it's a constant 1, 2, 1, and then we wait and we trade them off. And we just go back and forth like that. And this is how we clear maps. And then also, unlike Diablo 4, we do have, as you can see on the left-hand side of my screen, a overlay map, which is great, so that I can see kind of where I'm going, what I want to unlock. These little things on the ground here, these are portal summons, so think breaches and Path of Exile. So we kind of prep for it. We put down our turret. This is our specialization class. We can preamble, lay down some stuff, and everything dies as soon as it spawns. So then we go. There you go. Next. And this is at level in the campaign, so we clear pretty quick. I don't have a ton of movement speed yet. I haven't invested much into movement speed. Almost everything I've invested in is just damage because it's just quick for clear. Obviously, if I had a little bit more movement speed, this would be a little bit faster as well. You will notice these are after death effects, but they're not instant, which is really nice, so you're not ever going to be surprised by an after death effect killing you, which is, you know, Path of Exile PTSD. So we just hit level 32, which is a great point to show you guys the other stat system. So this is kind of your Paragon point kind of tree where you can invest in things that you want to invest in. So you can invest in armor, max life, tenacity, damage reduction, etc. If you wanted to go defensive, you can invest in evasion, you can invest in elemental resistance, you can invest in max mana if you wanted to go like a mana stacking build or something like that, elemental damage if you did an elemental damage build. And then here is, you know, obviously one of the big things for us, which is attack speed and max Reaper damage or damage. This is really for the attack speed. I put a couple points in here just to get a little bit better attack speed, and then movement speed. Now, eventually I'll probably move points down from here to pick up some movement speed, but really the one that we're putting all our points into right now is raw damage and the raw damage multiplier, because that's our skill damage. So we want to put more points in here if it will let me. Boom, like that. We also do some stuff with Reaper damage. So both of these are damage for us. So this is damage for us and this is damage for the build. That's why we do a ton of damage right now. Like, we have no problems pretty much clearing out everything within one hit. And if I was to use the full combo, which I will show you if we get to a boss, we also put down our turret, and our turret smacks for like 10,000 a hit too, so it's kind of crazy. So we'll go here. But for just running around and clearing, we don't have to put a turret down every time we move. I'll usually do it when we get to a portal, like this one that's coming up. I'll put down a turret. So drop turret. Everything just dies. And we freed this guy, so you see we have this town guy that we came in, we freed. He says he'll see us back at the village, which is great. Alright, boss time. Boss is dead. And we can leave. So that's one run here. Exit. And then what's cool is you get a stat screen. It kind of tells you like how you did. We did 2 million damage. We did an average DPS of 6,000. How much experience you gained, gold you gained, and Slorm that you gained. So now when we come back, we have a new town guy, so we can go see what he does. I'll run up here. Actually, what was this guy he did? Well, extract Slorm invested in your ancestral legacy once it gives and give it back to you. You will get... Okay, so this is like a full reset if you just wanted to do a full tree reset. And then this one is... we're talented ability to extract Slorm invested in your skills. Okay, so this is if you want to do a full skill tree reset. Okay. We don't want to do either one of those right now, so that you don't have to do it manually. You don't have to click one by one. You can just go fully reset your character. Again, all that's for free. There's no cost. You just get it all back, which again makes the game super casual friendly. So we'll just do another run here. Is this a boss? All right, put down a turret. Turret's gonna just wipe out people on its own. Oh, got poison. Stepped on poison. Drop another turret. Oh, yeah, another one. All right, so this is like a this is like an event phase. It's fine. Obviously, we don't want to stand in the poison. Done another turret. You see all the traps on the ground, right? So when everything spawns, they hit the trap, they're already dead. Alright, done another turret. Little guy all the way out here. Everything's already dead. Put down another turret. The turrets in this game don't seem to have individual HP bars. They don't die, and they don't take aggro, so there's no... they're not like normal mobs. They are considered totems, but they don't pull aggro or stop enemies from targeting you. So you just have to be very aware of that. They're just damage, purely damage. I haven't seen a way to change that, so I don't know if there's something that makes them aggroable, like a specialized bow or anything like that, but I haven't seen anything like that. This is a boss. Boss is down. Another boss. Boss is down. I think that should be it for this run. Yep. And we cleared it. So we come here, pick up our blue, and leave. Now, early on, I was selling all my gear pieces because I hadn't unlocked the blacksmith to convert them into components, but I have the blacksmith now, so a lot of our gear that isn't going to be very valuable to us. Oh, this is a last depot kind of situation where items will go into your bag first, and you can transfer the materials to your materials tab, and then you have a materials tab here in your inventory on the back side, so you can see kind of how much money you have, Elder Slorm, Pure, etc. And then your individual stash for your items. And you have a very nice size bag space internally, and then each of the items only takes up one slot, which again is just really nice quality of life. This actually looked relatively good until it was thorns damage. If that was raw damage, this is a nice amount of max life and mana and armor. Retail, nope. And okay, so 123 raw damage. That's quite a bit more than we have. Percent invasion is a little bit less. Gives us max life, mana regen. But we have melee recast, and then max mana, and then we have area damage reduction or increased effective melee damage reduction. So we have a couple redux. So the question here is flat evasion. Flat evasion and recast versus more damage. I actually think I take more damage here. Oh man, it's 2% evasion loss. For 50 damage. I think I'll keep the evasion. Okay, so that we can come here, we go to this, and we just click them out. You can also sell them over at the store. I haven't really been using her since getting the blacksmith because I just need the materials because I'm sure I'm going to need them later when I want to actually craft pieces of gear. And then this guy is like a Slorm merger, so he can, he can merge Slorm components and make them higher tiers, it looks like, so you can craft into higher tiers. And then he can also reinforce gear, which I haven't done yet. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it raises the value of things on your piece of gear, but it costs you different Slorm levels. Okay, so got it. So you probably don't want to do this until end game. Just save up a lot of this until you get to end game, like level probably 90 plus, when gear stops becoming something that you're getting consistently. Because gear over the early levels, you're just going to replace pretty quick. All right, we'll do another run here. Is this another one? Oh, wow. Another one. So we'll just get ourselves into Tormented so we can lay down some traps. You can see our totem is doing 10,000 damage. Look at the boss just disappeared. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this build. When I get the ice imbue and I can suck everything in and it just instantly gets frozen on top of the traps, that's going to be really, really fun for me, because I think it's just going to be really cool for just quick clear, just run around, freeze everybody in place, they stand on the trap. Trap has a 100% reduced arm time, which is what we're working towards. Right now it's 80% of the arm time. But once it's 100%, it'll just instantly arm itself and instantly explode, hopefully. And when you have that, it'll double trigger with the double trigger skill, and everything should just die instantly when that happens. Not that things are not dying instantly right now. This is probably one of my only gripes, is when a tutorial comes up, you can't actually read it in the middle of combat. So this like happens all the time early on, like where you're fighting and a tutorial will come up. You can't do anything inside the game besides use your skills, and I kind of want to read it, but I can't currently read it, and I can't use my primary skill right now. So this is probably one of my biggest gripes. I wish it would just pause the game, because when you open any other screen, it does actually pause the game. But when one of these tutorials comes up, the game does not pause, which I think is probably one of the biggest flaws of the game right now. It's kind of annoying. Stormlight uses Feldrick Rig extra effects when reinforcing. Okay, so it's just special reinforcement material. Okay. So we'll just grab all these fragments. So you see, I wasn't able to pick up any of that while that tutorial was up, and I wasn't able to use my finesse ability. It wouldn't let me use my A button. So that's kind of a nuisance. And even with that, we did 10,000 DPS. It's quite nice. Okay. He doesn't want to talk to me about it, so we'll just go back in. And we'll do this one. I'll probably upload this one as a raw video. Oh. Is this a boss? Defeat boss. Okay. Oh, they have eggs. It's alright. They're going to be dead in a second. He's over here. Put some traps down on top of him. And he's dead. Oh, he's not dead. He's dead now. There you go. Now we have the eggs. I probably don't need to kill all the eggs. Though I'm curious if there's an achievement or anything for killing the eggs. Let's do it. We're here. Why not? Watch there actually be an achievement for this. There's been achievements for some very weird things, so I wouldn't be surprised. Another thing I'll talk about while I'm doing this, if you've been paying attention, I've been doing this on a controller. The controller feels actually very nice, and you can switch seamlessly to WSD. So like obviously if I click my mouse right now, I can switch back and forth. So if I want to use and it has WASD. So if I wanted to play with my mouse, I can do that. Obviously this will give me a little bit more control on where I'm aiming. The one thing I haven't felt was if there was evasion. I'm sorry, evade skills, so like a dash or anything like that. I have not seen a dash skill or anything like that, which is more typical of newer ARPGs, so like your Diablo 4s, your Last Epochs, anything like that. There's nothing like that, but there are skills that allow you to dash and move. So my finesse skill can actually dash if I choose to do so. But I don't have it spec that way because that's a lot of dashing because it'll dash 3 times instantly. That one is here. When you cast finesse, you instantly move to the climax area, but now I have 2 different climax areas and you dash literally all over the place. It's very, very, very confusing. So I don't use that because it can get me killed. But yeah, you can dash with skills, but there's no native evade. There's no potions as well outside of, like, you can get like a specialized ring that gives you kind of a pseudo potion, but it's on a cooldown. I don't use it because I have enough leech to not need it anymore, and I switched the ring for more damage. But the controller feel for someone who, you know, doesn't want to hurt their wrists or do anything like that feels great. Just obviously a little less on the aiming. Aiming takes a little bit more, you know, thought process to it than having the mouse. But the controller feels great. You also have click to move. So if you're a click to move mouse player, that's also here. So the game pretty much has everything from a movement standpoint that you would want. So if you wanted to you know, play your way kind of situation, this game has it. Mind you, remember again as you're watching me play this, this is a $15 video game that plays better than Diablo 4. There's more depth in the first 20 minutes of this game than Diablo 4 has created in 4 years, and even longer than that for how long it's been in development. It really just goes to show you that the true passion of games these days is with indies. Indies are doing things that are just changing the landscape of gaming. I've been playing in a couple other indie games recently. I played Unicorn Overlord on my Switch because it went on sale, and I've been really, really enjoying that. That's a fun little kind of less thought mechanically game that's nice to just sit down when I don't want to think about mechanics and play that way. And I highly recommend it to anyone if you haven't ever played Unicorn Overlord. It's kind of like Ogre Battle 64 back on the N64, if anybody remembers that. It plays exactly the same. It's very, very fun. Look at us. We're doing 20,000 damage per crit right now. Kind of wild. And it's a nice little tactics game that has classes and advanced classes, and you kind of make builds and then it auto battles for you. So if you've never seen it or played it, Unicorn Overlord is something I highly recommend. I've been playing it on the side. And then another game that I've been playing and I've been really, really enjoying, have some minor gripes with it. Maybe I'll do a video on it once I'm a little bit further into it, because I have truly been enjoying my time with it, is Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark. And it is a Final Fantasy VII Tactics game. It has a weird aesthetic to it. I'm not particularly in love with the aesthetic. I don't think many people are, but the actual mechanics of it are very, very fun and deep, and it's kind of a turn-based tactical positioning game, but has multi-layered classing, has a lot of hidden classes. The story is a little meh. It's kind of like a very generic story, and I just kind of click through it for the build crafting side of it. And I've been enjoying that quite a bit. Quite a bit. I would honestly be playing it right now if this game didn't come out, and this game has just sucked me in immediately. I've just been having a ton of... This just reminds me so much of like D3. Honestly, if you ask me right now if I had more fun this season with Last Epoch or this game in the first 30 levels of this game, I'm loving this game. This is... Man, if this game had multiplayer, if this had online multiplayer, yeesh. I don't think I would play any other ARPG. Even Last Epoch. I don't even think I would play the Last Epoch again. I would just play this. That's how good this game is. I'm not even joking. I would just play this if this had online multiplayer. Okay. Okay, we have a mage. I don't know what this guy does. Yeah, I mean, this game has everything. This is like my dream ARPG. I just wish it had online multiplayer so we could have races and leaderboards. That's probably the one thing this game needs. This is an incredible game. $15 in Injustice. This game should be $30. It should be $30. $35. They have so much good here. You can see me, of course. If you're wondering if I'm reading this, no, this story doesn't interest me. I just want to play. The writings refer to a mysterious place, the Storm Temple. Yeah, lore stuff. Elder Storm. Enemies. Okay. Okay, so he wants me to collect Elder Storm and bring it back to him. Okay. Is that like a new area expedition? Gather 30 Elder Storm. Okay. You're kind of on top of my expedition thing. E? Oh, there we go. No, wait. Oh, yeah. Right here. The Mage Academy. Oh. Oh, I have to do it as a preset. Okay. So it wants me to go in here and do a preset battle. Okay, so I'll show you guys what this kind of looks like. So this is a fixed environment, and he wants me to go in here and get some Elder Storm. So we'll do a expedition real quick. It's pretty much the same thing as what we've been doing, except it's more about breaches. So these breaches are the primary thing that we're doing inside of these expeditions. Okay, so we got Elder Storm. You have just found Elder Storm. It can be found on elite enemies outside of Slorm Temple and can be used to enter the Slorm Temple. Okay, so we needed to enter the Slorm Temple. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, so these expeditions are floor-based, kind of like a tower, where there's, let's say, 100 floors. I don't know if there is a max floor. I've gotten, like I said, to 25, and I did that comfortably without any modifiers. This build's really, really strong for no modifiers. I wish I could find the guys so that I could do modifier battles, because I need it to just find better gear. Because the modifiers will provide magic find, and that's what we want. So you see, like, we're moving basically from breach portal to breach portal, and sometimes you get locked in the room, so like you'll see the doorway was locked until you defeat the breach portal. So drop our thing. So this is nice because we're locked in here with 3 of them. Look at that, boom. That was a boss, by the way. Oh, our build is so good. Yep, and we're done. All right, floor 2. I think he said we needed 30, so we have to do this until we get 30. Also, I am not picking up the materials. I only have to manually pick up items. That's another quality of life thing this game has over other games. Yeah, I don't require a pet. Oh, didn't even see that. I flooded him with the floor. It doesn't require a pet. It doesn't require secondary stuff. It just auto picks up. Oh, well, it is in the settings. I should I should clarify. It's in the settings. So go here. Do this one. Oop, put it down. Done. We'll go over this way. Obviously, as I get more levels and I gain movement speed, I can clear these floors a lot faster. There is another Huntress build that I saw uses Tumble, which is a movement skill. And then you can like fly through these maps. But I kind of wanted to do this trap build. I actually started with wanting to do a ballista build and just use it like a companion. But then I saw how traps worked, and I saw how skill damage worked, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is going to be kind of the direction I want to go. I still do get the turret for funsies, but it's not like the primary form of our build. Look at that, boom. Oh, it's a boss. Was a boss. Okay, grab that. Oh, I'm in here. I'm still in here with What is that? Oh, okay, it's just part of the map. I was like, I hadn't seen a floating book before. So you see how when I come up to one, if I have my turret available, I'll put the turret down first. I don't always have it available when I do these, but I mean, you guys can see I don't actually need the turret all the time. Okay, next. Let's see, like here we have it available, so we'll put it down. That was a boss. The boss is gone. Next floor. We also have points that we haven't put in, so let's grab more damage. So yeah, if you guys wanted a really good early game build, early mid game, possibly even good late game, I can't tell you because I'm not there yet. This trap build slaps. Just super stuff. Ooh, we got a red. Wait, what? One of your items has reached its full potential and is now ready to be reinforced. You can bring it to Rick along with Slormite to do so. The potential of the item represents its experience and increases naturally when you do during expeditions. That's how that works. Okay, so you gain experience from doing expeditions, then you can go use Slormite if you want to increase an item's value, and that's pretty much all of these items at the moment. Okay, so you have to do expeditions either way. Alright, what is this one? Thorns, life on hit, no, garbage. And then what's other cool is there is, like, last epoch, there's exalted stats, and they come with like colorful borders. So you see how this one has a yellow border on it? That's because it has a boosted stat, and there's a couple different things like that in the game. So we'll put this away. Okay, so these rings, these legendary rings, have legendary powers, kind of like Diablo 4, but you, to my knowledge, you can't extract them and just put them on anything. You actually have to find the legendary, which makes the legendary itself important. Go figure, something Diablo 4 could learn. 4.2% experience gain, which would be nice. Projectile damage reduction, which is just DR. The defense stat on both rings is increased by 15%. The defense stat. I have no idea. Don't need it right now. We are not in any danger of dying. 79 raw damage. No, it's not enough. Oh, but attack speed. And a lot of Ellie res. No, it's still not good enough. No, not good enough either. What do we still have that's green? Our belt is still green. We just have not found a good belt. Okay, moving on. Red portals, so I'll talk about this since we just did a red portal. Red portals and yellow portals. Yellow portals, to my knowledge, add a benefit, like a, think of them like a shrine effect from Diablo 3 or 4. Or I guess maybe even Path of Exile. Red portals do a map-wide modifier, and it can it'll stick with you for some time. So either the floor or the full map, to my knowledge. You can get things that like try to call down lightning on top of you. Think like nightmare dungeons in Diablo 4, like the little modifiers that can like chase you around, or little things on the floor start popping up. That's kind of the situation when it comes to that. So when you do a red one, just know you are adding a map modifier to your map. So if you don't want to add a map modifier and you're already struggling, obviously don't do the red portals unless unless you want to die. In expeditions as well, at any point, if you defeat a portal and let's say you're at 100 life left, you can open the portal and leave. Any defeated portal, you can open it and leave so that you don't lose your value. If you die in an expedition, to my knowledge, there's no hardcore mode. I didn't see one when I started this game. But if you die within an expedition and you have, like, for me, I have 69,000 Slorm right now. If I was to die, I lose a huge percentage of that, and I lose a bunch of other things that I gained in it. So gold I gain, I think possibly even experience, and Slorm that I gain gets heavily taken away from me. So you do not want to die in an expedition. So if you're at 100 HP, just go back to a defeated portal that you've already defeated, open it, and leave. Do not cost yourself Slorm because it's too valuable of a resource. You don't want to do it. So actually, we can make our traps have 100% uptime. Okay. And then we want to... We don't need the increased damage just yet. I do want to get my leech a little bit higher, but that's not what I wanted to add right now. Nope. Where was it? It was this node. Just put one in there for a little bit of increased damage. And yeah, that all looks fine. I think I'm going to save up now for the probably to finish leech, because it's going to take a lot of Slorm. It's probably going to take like 100,000 Slorm. I'm probably going to finish my leech so that I feel good about my health regen, and then I'll probably do trap damage or the raw damage on my ancestral tree. You can see my turret does 10,000 damage because the turret also, to my knowledge, does skill damage, which is what we are stacking for all of our abilities. So we'll do that. You'll notice we also have a kill counter. I should actually go over settings with you guys so you can see kind of what that looks like. So in your settings and gameplay, this is the settings that I am currently running with my controller setup. Actually, oh no, okay, I am max. Because I think, let me see something. Oh yeah, okay, so it is exactly what I thought. So this is something I highly recommend. Go in here and make your zoom 75. Okay, so I run display hero life bar always, of course, display enemy health bar always, of course, display hero life totals, of course, so that when we look at it, we can see we have 2,100 health and we have a life bar. I mean, you should always be doing this in any ARPG, but these are not natively on, so you actually do need to turn these on in your settings. Display enemy life totals, display enemy debuff icons, hero damage always on, enemy damage always on, so I know how much damage I'm taking, how much damage I'm doing. Display combo and damage meter, so that's the thing in the bottom right, that combo kill circle and the damage per second. Again, not even something any of the other ARPGs have. Path of Exile doesn't have it. Diablo doesn't have it. Last Epoch doesn't have it. This $15 game has a live damage per second and kill combo meter for you to see at all times, which is, again, fantastic. When you get combos and you kill consecutive enemies, you gain a small boost to how much Slorm that you gather. So keeping up a kill combo creates more Slorm that you can take in so that you can boost your skills a little bit faster. Display Goldest numbers, experience, display life gains, mana gains, display state text, loot names. This is pretty common stuff. Area of effect rapid cast. We're doing area of effect skills. I do not want to have to like manually click twice to cast my skills. I just want them to go. So I turn this on because we're using Rain of Arrows. hide gathered Slorm. Actually, I want to do that. I have a feeling this is going to take away the effect of Slorm coming to my body, which is a lot of screen clutter. So I think that's what that's going to do. We'll test it here in just a second. I turn off active camera, I turn off camera shake, and I turn off controller vibrations. I don't need any of that stuff. Aim assist, I turn on auto aim because I'm using a controller. I'm using Xbox, and then my map position and map transparency are all fine. In my settings, I run 120 FPS because my monitor only runs 100 because it's not a gaming monitor right now. And all this stuff is just for me: interface, font size, damage display, text, all that stuff. And I don't use pixel font and I don't use low FX. I have sound turned down so you guys can hear me currently. And then for my keybinds, this is important for controller players, is I changed the ancestral skill 1, which is blank when I loaded this, to my right trigger. It normally is in the reorder ancestral skills button. I will eventually just map that to, actually I can just do it right now, to my right stick. So when I push down my right stick, I'll be able to kind of configure that if I want to. But this was weirdly laid out where this was actually this. So I moved it to be ancestral skill 1, and then ancestral skill 2 is my right mouse button. So everything is done with my right pointer finger for ancestral skills. I don't have any of those right now, so it's not really that important. And then there's toggles for aim assist, toggles for life bars. I don't even have those set. And then primary skill is A, secondary skill is X, support skill is Y, and it's pretty easy to use. It's pretty straightforward. So those are my current settings. The big one is just make sure you max out your zoom so that you can see more of the game. Alright, we went to a dead end. You don't run into this too often on these maps where you run into dead ends. This is a unique example of having to backtrack. I haven't normally needed to do this in this game, but we did have to backtrack. Not great. That's Diablo 4 PTSD right there. And we're done. Alright, so we well, okay, so I guess it's on me. If I had cleared this on my way up, I would have finished at the top of the map. So I didn't need to backtrack, I just didn't do what I was supposed to do. And that's the boss dead. Grab more. There's another boss, it's dead. How many more of these do I need? Oh, I think I have enough. He said he needed 30. Alright, we'll probably complete this floor and then we'll go back to town because we don't need anything from here right now. But, just bad. There we go. The other cool part about Finesse and Rain of Arrows is normal skills can't pen walls. However, Finesse can pen walls, and Rain of Arrows can pen walls. So I can actually shoot over walls into other areas. This was actually really helpful early on when I didn't have a lot of gear. Rain of Arrows allowed me to clear parts of the map without ever being in danger. So this is a special piece of gear. It's why it's showing in my loot filter. So when I go here, oh, nope. Oh, I leveled up. That's why it's doing this. Boop. All right. So when I go here, this green piece of gear has another stat that's been boosted. So you see the double exclamation points. This is a boosted stat, and you can just see that it does extra elemental damage. So we'll just sell it. It's probably worth a little bit more money too, because of the boosted stats. That's gonna be one of those. Yeah. I can let my... Oh, it's already done. I was gonna say I can let my turret solo. So like here, if I do this over the wall, see it killed them over the wall. Killed like half the room over the wall. I can do this with finesse too. Oh, hold on. Okay. It doesn't want to target through the wall, but it can go through the wall as well, so you can clear enemies through walls if you need to early on. We passed a chest, and I didn't even pay attention to it. Sorry, guys. I could show you there's actual chests in the game, too. Chests give you various things. It can give you gear. It can give you more Slorm. It can give you materials. So you never know what you're going to get in the chest. It's kind of like a loot goblin. So this one gave us, it looked like Slorm. So that's always nice. And then we can obviously go here and we can put in leech. So now we need 30,000 for the next leech. And we're done. Oh, I said I was going to go back to town. Oops. Alright, hold on. We'll clear this one and we'll use it to go back to town. That's what I'm saying, like, the game is super addicting. You just want to keep going. Open portal? Yeah. Hello? Must have some sort of thing. Or I can't open the portal. Am I like in a no escape? I may have like a no escape modifier right now. How unfortunate. That's okay. Just more things to kill. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, there we go. We'll just finish it. We're already at the end of the map anyway. But yeah, if this was online, I don't think you'd have to play any other RPG. As long as they kept updating the skills so that you had new skills and new skill combos over time. You know, like maybe a fourth class. So there's 3 classes. There's the Huntress, the Knight, and the Mage currently. And then all of them have different skills and different specializations. Each, oh, we got a bow. Okay, well I'm glad we stuck around because these are rare. We get the Bow of Oracle Maker. So now when we go here, it'll tell us what it is. It looks like it's going to be light of some sort, so light damage, I imagine. You have... Oh, aura. I get it. You have 0% aura increased effect. Aura increased effect is equal to blah per available aura and increased by 25% for any additional auras. Yeah. While this aura is active, you have 15% chance to trigger a random equipped ancestral strike effect on a random enemy within 3-yard radius. Interesting. We are not doing an aura build, but that sounds really cool for like a righteous fire build, because I think there is a fire aura build thing. Fire. Where is it? Yeah, here. While this aura is toggled on, you leave a trail of fire behind you, dealing elemental damage per second. So you could have this with the aura bow, and then have it trigger um, aura effects while it's happening. That's kind of cool. So you could make a righteous fire build, which is kind of neat. Okay, head home. Let's click the right button this time. So you can see we did 5 floors. There was no bosses in this, like formal bosses in this expedition, so there was no reason to really stick around. You can see how much experience we got, how much influence we got. So we're good there. You get a little bonus gold for completing expeditions. And then you can see here, we found a bunch. Find the answers, dip a string, indestructible seal. I assume we do. This tab lets you purchase various upgrades related to Elder Slorm, Pure Slorm, and Pure Stats using Pure Slorm items. Okay, using Pure Slorm. Okay. Increase the amount of Elder Slorm found on elite enemies. Increases the amount of Elder Slorm you can hold. Okay, so we can add to our max capacity. Increases the possible Pure Stat max score of pure items. That sounds important. Increases the chance of finding pure stats. Okay. Reduces the damage dealt to you by various defense mechanisms. Okay. Reduces the cost of transforming Slorm into other types of Slorm. Blah, 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 blah. I kind of want this one. Okay, what else do we have? Reach floor 10 of the Slorm Temple to unlock this tab. Okay. So there's other things in here. How do we increase? Oh, we need pure. Okay, got it. We have 3. we have 3. So we need to find pure Slorm, and then we can increase our stats. I wonder if we can convert the Elder Slorm into Pure Slorm? Maybe I should have read that closer. 59 raw damage. Max mana. Evasion. No, it's not good enough. Tons of max life. Movement speed. Damage reduction. And Ellie res, but it loses us experience gain. Also, not good enough. Okay. So these are all blacksmith. Yep. To the boop. Boop. I think I even do this one. Boop. Alright. So how do I... Let me go to the Slorm Refiner. I gotta remember which guy does this. Was it this one? Maybe it was this one. No. No, no, no. I thought there was a guy who did that, but I could be mistaken. Oh yeah, this is the legendary stash. We don't need that right now. You do get stash, and you get plenty of it done by gold. So you can see I have 2 right now, and I've only kept the legendary items just because they come with different effects. So I just want to keep a couple just to know what the effects are. So if I see them again or just want to remind myself what's out there. And this is the one that's really important. If you find a new Slorm bow, this necklace will make the bow that you find, the level 1 bow, to the current level of your max bow until it catches up in level. So you want to keep this necklace forever, because as you find more of these bows, if you find a bow that's better than yours, this is a level 28 Slorm bow, and if you get a level 1, you want that to be able to do the content that you're doing currently. So keep this necklace. I just keep it in my storage in case I find another bow, but we're not doing that anytime soon. We do have a wardrobe. Save us. So this even has an armory, which Diablo 4 doesn't have. Allows you to save us sets and skills, so you can re-equip it later. So it's an armory system, which is again just incredible how much they've got right in this game. Just absolutely incredible. And again, guys, I'm probably going to upload this video raw. So if it's a super long video, this kind of like just a little let's play. But I think that's probably where I'll stop it here. I will update you guys again later on once I push this further along and I get the ice imbuement and I get the traps going. But right now, yeah, this is in my opinion, this is the best ARPG on the market. A little $15 indie ARPG is the best ARPG on the entire market right now. It has everything. It has everything except multiplayer and leaderboards, and my god, if it can figure out how to do multiplayer and leaderboards, yeah, this is great. I love this. This is super, super fantastic. Probably one of the best games I've played in years. And that's saying a lot. I play a lot of games, and this has just been a blast. So yeah, I'm loving this. Level 34. How many people could say that about ARPGs, by the way? By level 34, I'm having more fun in this ARPG at level 34 than I've had in Path of Exile. Definitely Path of Exile 2. I hated Path of Exile 2. I don't like Dark Souls games. I'm not a big fan of Dark Souls games. I just think they're too slow and too boring. I really, really didn't like Path of Exile 2. I don't particularly play Diablo 4 anymore. I haven't bought the expansion. I have no plans to, and with this game, I now definitely don't have plans to. I do really enjoy Last Epoch. I think Last Epoch's great, but Last Epoch's even behind this. Last Epoch's considerably behind this game. If I was Last Epoch, I'd look at this game and just be like, do this. Do everything that this is doing. This is amazing. Really, really enjoyable. The crafting looks like it's going to be really fun and deep too when I get to endgame and actually start wanting to craft. It looks like that's going to be really exciting as well. Yeah, I can't give this game enough praise, because at level 34 I don't know many ARPGs that even come close to how this game feels. It's awesome. All right, guys, I'm out. Play this, buy this, give this company money. $15 is way too much. They should raise their price to $35. It's worth $35. This is insanely good. All right, guys, have a good one.